What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 41 of FloTrack's The Meetup, presented by Diadora. Performance first, crafted and tested at their Italy HQ. Diadora gear is built for speed and the choice of Marco Langen and Simeon Bourbon. Nia Gibson here. I'm here with Johnny Pace, Olu Olamigoke. How are we feeling? How was your weekend, guys?
Super Bowl Sunday, baby. It was a rare weekend off for us. It was nice to reset and catch a different sport other than track and field for once.
I
Yeah,
love that.
it was
Olu?
nice to reset for sure. Although I still went to track club, so I guess I didn't get too far away from track and field. But yeah, man, the Super Bowl was super exciting. So exciting, I fell asleep in the fourth quarter, and yeah, we're here.
Speaking of track club, this was cool. I liked seeing both of you guys doing your thing. You guys looked like real athletes out there. I hadn't seen you in your natural element yet.
So, Johnny, how
Especially
do
you,
we look
Nia.
outside of that? Not like real athletes?
Yeah, like
It was just impressive. It was cool to
Dang.
see. You guys are holding
All
out on
right,
me. I
no,
gotta see you guys line up.
I hope I look like
oh
a real
yeah.
athlete at this point. I've done this for too long.
Oh yeah, my fault. Olu's an Olympian. But yeah, I mean, like it feels like this past weekend track was definitely a little bit more exciting than football. We have a lot to talk about, guys. So I think why not just get right into it? Femke Bol, she debuted in her 800 this weekend at the World Indoor Tour at Metz. She ran 1:59:07 for the win and a new Dutch record. Yeah, y'all. It was a day for her. It was 100% a day. What did we think when we saw that race?
Look, I said two flat oh something because I was trying to hedge my bets. I should have just stuck with my gut and said 159. It's just like I said before, you can't doubt these generational talents. Um, that was really impressive. It was cool to see, but even though I was wrong, I can't say I'm surprised.
I really nailed my
Now,
prediction.
Johnny,
I was
let
actually
let's talk
spot
about your
on.
take, Johnny.
What's 4 seconds? 4 seconds, give or take. I did that knowing I'd rather be pleasantly wrong. Be what is the word, like you expect the worst and then you get the best. So that's kind of how it played out. 159. That's cooking. That's cooking. Although, didn't we hear that? I don't know if this was
Yeah.
insider baseball, but this might be her only 800 of the season.
Correct, correct, correct. So per Athletics Weekly, Femke will not be running in the 800 for the rest of the 2026 indoor season, but we'll see her in the 600 on February 19th in Leven. Yeah, her coach stated afterwards that Femke is still had a little too much respect for the 800 and that you can see that in her split times. So that's very interesting. And it's very interesting to see like what the training's going to look like, how things are going to look for her moving forward and honestly, maybe outdoor season. So I think they're trying to maybe sharpen her up a little bit. And who would think that her debut would also be her closer, at least for indoor season? So I do think that's an interesting way to go about it. But I'm not going to doubt Fem because I think she's always, and her coaching, obviously, she's always showed up. She has championship pedigree. So I'm interested to see like how that's going to translate to the 800, especially outdoor season, incoming like diamond leagues, things like that. Because then they're also going to probably introduce her to heavier competitions like the Keelys of the world and the Georgia Hunter Bells and the Jamarikis and even like obviously a thing Moo. Like how is she going to combat that? So let's see, because as she is also on her comeback in a sense, especially with her changing coaches and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, like real side quest. It's like one objective, do it and be done with it. Like it's too early to say what she might run outdoors if she runs it. I'm gonna just say
I think
157.
we should say it.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say
Go ahead,
157. I'm
Olu,
not
since
gonna
you
back down
mentioned
on that one.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna say 157 something, and if at that point if she's faster, then so be it. But I'm not gonna sit here and say it was 158. No, we're not gonna do that. Not this time.
I think
I'm
she's
gonna do it.
breaking
I'm gonna
two
say
outdoors.
156.
You think she's breaking two outdoors?
That's
I think
so
so. I'm
safe,
sneaking.
Johnny. That is so safe.
That's like saying at the end of the
Just
day,
hot
the
take.
day gonna end. Yeah, we know this.
I think 156. I'm putting 156 on the table.
I don't think that's that far fetched.
I don't think so
Can we get a
either. You know what? I'll put
155 going
155 on
once,
the
going
table.
twice? Wow. Okay, now we're getting to that territory. Now, what if she only
Yeah,
runs it
man.
once outdoors again?
Then she'll run 155 once outdoors.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Or
gonna
a
say that
second
with my
PR.
chest.
I'm not gonna do the thing that I just said I wouldn't do, which is doubt a generational talent. So I'll let you have
So
that
y'all
one.
not gonna say a time with me? You're gonna leave me hanging,
Oh, I said 157. Did I say
Johnny?
157 or say 156? I
One
said 157.
one
Roll the tape. We'll find it
152,
later.
baby. She going
Woo!
152.
Now we're just getting off the rail.
Okay, I love it. Johnny
It's
learned
gonna be
his lesson.
fast.
Okay, period.
Johnny on
Yes, but in the
that tall boy for 7-Eleven this morning.
no, I love that. Johnny had his 7-Eleven coffee this morning and was like, you know what? Let's live life on the edge. I'm
Yo,
wired. I know that's
Yeah.
I know that's right. I
Oh,
know that's right.
Yeah.
Period. Okay, while we're
that's
talking
right.
about side quests, let's talk about Cordell Tinge. The Tyson Invitational is coming up, and as we know, he will be ditching the hurdles for indoor season for long jump. Let's hear more in the clip that he said after winning the Millrose Games.
How does the rest of your indoor season look, or is it done?
The rest of my indoor season involves me long jumping. You'll see me at Tyson long jumping and maybe again after that, but you won't see me hurdle again, I don't think. I mean, the honest truth is I've jumped 830 before, why can't I jump it now? If I can make any future team in 2 events because I believe I can and I've shown that I can, why wouldn't I do that? That's just what it comes down to for me. I mean, I'm a jumper first, I just happen to be really good at hurdling. On a year like this one, why not go back and long jump for fun?
Last outdoor season, you're kind of had like that breakout year. You said you started lifting weights again. Tell me what you think you can do in the long jump with all things considered.
The honest truth is I believe I could be the best long jumper in America.
I like every
Wrote
time I
that
hear that
story.
statement, it's like, yeah. And it's definitive.
Yeah,
Like it's
shout-
very like he's very strong in what he's saying. Because sometimes people are all like, I would like to do this and I would like to do this. He said, no, essentially I'm going to do this and I believe I can do this. Olu, as a jumper, I'd love to hear your take on this.
I mean, I don't doubt him. I mean, he's jumped on Tifers. You can see he's jumped 813 and 816, I believe, in 2023. He also came back with like an 824. I don't know where he jumped the 830 itself, but I mean, 824 to 836 centimeters. I don't doubt that he can do it. And additionally, I mean, if we look back, it's been 5 years since somebody has broken 830 at USA's. Not even, and that was Javon Harrison when he had his breakout year where he was winning the high jump, winning the long jump. Javon Harris, let me give it to you. 2021, Javon Harrison jumped 847. That's 27.9. Rayvon Gray won in 2022 with 819. Marquise Dendy in 2023 with 814. 2024 was Jeremiah Davis at 820. And Isaac Grimes just won last year with 815 in 2025. So if he jumps 830, he will be the best long jumper in the US. I mean, numbers don't lie. So, and the thing is, the US on any given year, I looked at the past 5 years, but I mean, he can even go further. The US at any given year, aside from when you had like the era of Jeff Henderson and a couple other people, it's if you jump 830, you're going to be on the podium. And 831 could win it. So I think it's a great gamble for him to do it. I think it's less of a gamble and more, as we said, of side quest, but like, is it really a side quest? Because as he said, he's a jumper that's happened to be really good at hurdling, which, as we've seen happen with, in the nature of Tara Davis Woodhull. I don't know which came first for her, but she's another example of someone who can hurdle and long jump. Technically speaking, the hurdles, especially the short hurdles, really do play really well into the long jump because of takeoff positions and rhythm and all these different things. So I have no doubt that he could go long jump 830 plus. And I have no doubt that when he does that, it will come back and have him hurdling even more with more technical proficiency and getting faster. So yeah, I want to see it. I'm looking forward to it.
Can you tell me like what the overlap is when you are training for these 2 events? Like, what are the similarities? What are the gaps? Like, to me, those are like 2 very different events. What's it going to require, if anything, different as far as a training approach?
That's a great question. And all right, so there's like 5 different ways we can go with this. But if we want to start at the basics, just look at how they come out of the blocks to the point that they have to be upright and running to then take off from the ground to go over the first hurdle. Now that happens in depending on the person, around 7-8 steps, right? If you're like Grant Holloway, or it might be a little bit shorter. But anyways, you're getting out and then you're having to transition from driving into being upright to then take off of the ground. That's exactly what you do in the long jump. You get out, you drive, you transition into upright running, and at max speed, you want to take off. That's exactly what hurdlers are trying to do. They always say the people who win the hurdles are the people who return to sprinting first. And the reason why that matters is because you want to be sprinting fast so that you can then take off over the hurdle and with maximal speed to then get back on the other side of the hurdle. Now, of course, there are more technical things than that, but what I'm trying to say is when you nail what the approach is in the long jump is relevant to what the drive phase and the transition into the first hurdle is in the hurdles and between the hurdles. Now, if you get your approach really, really dialed in the long jump, to some degree, you can kind of get away with whatever you do in the air to jump really, really far. And because with hurdles, just like there's a long jump board that you have to be able to take off right at the board and be, dialed in and technical and exact on that. Those two things start to play into each other really, really well. Those who can run an approach really well on the long jump runway oftentimes can run between the hurdles really, really well because it takes commitment. And that type of commitment isn't something that you can necessarily fake. Like if you want to be able to jump really, really far at a world-class level, you have to be able to commit all the way through your approach, put that foot down and take off, just like these hurdlers are doing. So hopefully that kind of illustrates a little bit where don't always look at necessarily what's going on over the hurdles, but look at what's going on before the first hurdle and between the hurdles as to what translates over to the long jump.
Oh, well said. Thanks, Professor Olu. I think also too, I'm gonna ask a question along with Johnny. The current world leads that were set this weekend in the long jump was Mattia Furlani and Basadir Saraboyakov. They both jumped 8:39. If we see Cordell debut in the long jump at Tyson, anything around that world, where can he compete on a world stage?
Look, if you jump 8:14, 8:15, you're going overseas to jump. I mean, obviously, Cordell can get probably to any meet he wants just from the simple fact that he's a world champion in the 110 hurdles. But competitively speaking, yeah, we have Mattia Furlani, 8:39. I mean, Mattia Furlani is an Olympic medalist. Sarah Buyakov, let me make sure I'm not mispronouncing his name. But yeah, Sarah Buyakov, like he also has jumped 8:39. I haven't seen his stats in the past before, but the point that I'm making is if you get into the realm of 8:15, that's going to get you into meets. There are people who are entering these meets all across the globe who have PRs of around 8 meters. So if Cordell goes over to Tyson, he doesn't even jump 8. We keep saying 8:30, 8:30. I mean, the 8:30 is like his personal best, around his personal best. So even if he jumped half a foot shorter or 15 centimeters shorter than what 8:30 is to be at 8:15, he'd still be right up there in the same meets with these guys. I think if you jump 8:15 this indoor season, you're going to be going to indoor worlds. That's just a kind of a given. And globally, we really zoomed in on the US and 8:30, what that means in the United States. But 8:30, if he does jump 8:30, that's potentially getting you a world medal this year. I mean, there's some people out there who want to make it really hard for you. There's a guy named Miltiadis Tentoglu from Greece who's won every championship there is. And I'm not sure how he's doing this season just yet. But the point I'm making is there are people who are overseas in Europe who can jump 8:30 on any given day. But the long jump globally is so open that 8:30 might still just be enough to win it.
All right. Oh, yeah, no, points were definitely made. And I'm interested to see how he's going to do this season with that, because as we all know, he just started lifting weights again last year, and we've seen what that has done for his hurdling. So let's see how that same success translates into the long jump. But as we talk about world lead guys, we had a few more happen this weekend. Georgia Hunter-Bell, she had a world leading time in the women's 1500 of 4 minutes 0.04. Amber Anning in the 400 with 50.51, and Julian Alfred in the 60 meters running 7 flat. So all that being said, let's get into the NCAA. Let's see what's going on. And speaking about what's going on, guys, listen, our first set of college rankings dropped, and you can find them all on FloTrack. But yes, guys, Garrett Kalin of USC, 20.12 at the UNM Collegiate Classic. We have a clip of that race. Please, let me just roll it.
That man is skating.
Kalin making up that stagger.
He's skating.
He was moving.
Dominating here.
You see it all through his locks. I'm not gonna lie, guys. But yo, the USC senior, he moves up to 6th in world history for the indoor 200 with that time of 20.12. Yeah, no, I think at this point, I gotta agree with Olu's points that he was making in a few shows, basically saying that trackflation is not a thing anymore. This is just the new norm. So whenever the next set of trackflation happens, I'd love to see like what that looks like. Is it going to be like multiple sub 20s in the indoor 200 or what? Like he was moving. You can see it all through his locks, guys. Like just what did y'all say?
Yeah, that was, bro. That man was sliding. Like he was running like, I make this analogy all the time. He was running like them kids that are in the street races, just booking. Like, and you like you say, you can see it in his locks. But coming to a technical standpoint, the fact that he's able to run with that level of cadence, and like look at this, I mean, just looking at the aggression and the turnover that he had throughout those curves and whatnot. I've never seen him run in person. I wonder how tall he is, because like I'll be surprised if he's over 5'7" is able to really attack those curves like that. That's crazy. Because running at 5'9" myself, I mean, turning over the curves is pretty difficult for me. Now, obviously, he's a sprinter, and I was never a world-class sprinter, but that's just like, I have no words. I'm not even going to stretch it. I have no words. That's just nuts, bro. Like 2012?
Yeah,
these are outdoor times.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos Macarallo was pretty tall, and you know he's an NCAA champion in the 200 and Olympian. So I mean, I think rules are changing, things are changing. Maybe taller sprinters used to be at a disadvantage, but now they're finding an advantage in it. And I think to do it in the indoor 200, where I think that's a disadvantage for sprints, you have 2 turns in such a short amount of a distance. That's impressive. I want to see what he's gonna do outdoor season.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
I'm still confused, like how these times, like I don't know the science on this, but like again, this Albuquerque track higher than Denver. It's like used to say that altitude is like a disadvantage. I almost feel like it's the opposite for some of these sprinters. It's amazing.
I think it is. It is a advantage for sprinters, disadvantage for distance runners.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a conversion in itself for that. Yeah. As you can see,
I think
they're sliding.
Technically speaking, that there is some truth to that. Like if you look at the jumps, there are some jumps that when they're marked at altitude, that it's a little bit supposedly easier to jump at altitude, and I think that has to do with air density and whatnot. But maybe that translates to the sprints too. I mean, I think when you think about the jumps, you're leaving the ground and flying through the air, but I don't know how you're just flying. You're booking that fast in the 200 indoors. I don't know, man. Trackflation isn't a thing anymore. We're in a different multiverse. If this is the MCU of track and field, we're no longer in Earth 616. We're in Earth whatever the other spinoff is. Like we're on another level now. I'm sorry for my Marvel nerds know what I'm talking about. We ain't in the regular situation no more.
Yeah, guys, no, like the altitude definitely helps the sprints. And I think someone else that we have to talk about is Samuel Ogazi of Alabama. This was his his season opener, guys. He ran 44.85 at the New Mexico Collegiate Classic. He's also a Nigerian Olympian, Olu, and obviously an NCAA champion. But yeah, he was also sliding by himself at altitude.
Yeah, again, like I don't doubt. Look, Naija no dey carry last. That's what we always say. You see the flag up there. We don't do last place. We only are winners. But I mean, I think how many times are we going to talk about this? Like, how many times are we just going to say this is just like there's nothing more to say. 44. What was it? 44.85 that he ran, I believe.
44.85.
Did I have that correct?
Season opener.
How are you going to step onto an indoor track and run an outdoor time in February? Make it make sense.
I know. We should ask him and have him on the show. I'll make that call. But
please do. This is nuts.
I'm telling you, they're no, they're moving. But also speaking about moving, Texas A&M, I mean, the Aggie's always going to be moving, but this one in particular, Cameron Dixon, she ran 22.62 at the Charlie Thomas Invitational. I think this was 100% her moment. I've been waiting for Cameron to run something like this all season, and kind of just like Garrett, I want to see how this is going to translate outdoors, or even before then, when she finally, like at SECs, goes up against a Jamesia Ford, like how is that going to translate? What times are we going to see play on the clock along with the bunch of other 200 grades that we have in the collegiate? I would also love to see her run against India Mayberry. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of people drop these times, but what can they do against people that are just as equally leveled? You know what I mean?
When they line up, look, they're gonna run even
When
faster. I mean, the one thing about this trackflation situation is that these athletes do also, when they do show up, they still drop times. I mean, we can look to the high school level. I mean, I know Tate Taylor and Jake Odie Jordan trained together, but like both of them were under the previous 300 meter world high school record. You know what I'm saying? And like we look at Cameron Daly, another Cameron legend. Cameron Daly's in 8th grade. It was in that same race where Mariah Maxwell broke the 300 meter high school record. As an 8th grader, she was under that previous record. So I think these athletes aren't afraid to show up. And I think they're just running in their own race, literally and figuratively now. So when they do line up, I think we can expect more crazy times.
Yeah, I mean, iron sharpens iron, so we'll see. And then before we get off of NCAA, we got another one. Another one. Madison White, yo, 50.82 at the New Mexico Collegiate Classic. Here is a piece of that race. And as she's running, you see she's getting challenged towards the end of the race in the last 150. And it's like she's not letting you win. And I think at that point, she decided she's not going to lose. And she's also going to have an incredibly impressive time. You see it in the determination of her arm. She's committed to that line, running through the line, and essentially ran away with it as soon as she got challenged. Yeah, guys, she'd run away with 50.82, and it is a new NCAA leading time for the women.
Now, if you were paying attention last week, we had a post on the FloTrack feed that said athletes to watch for at the University of New Mexico Collegiate Classic. Madison White was on that list. Now, if you were paying attention, I called it. I knew that she was going to do something crazy. I didn't expect 50.82, but again, trackflation, you know, here we are in this era, this new multiverse. Can we be surprised? No. Am I surprised? No. Do I think she's going to run faster? Yes. Roll the next one.
You know, I think she has sub 50 potential. If not if not indoor NCs, then definitely outdoor.
For sure. I mean, you see her stride. She has a slightly longer, almost, I don't want to say lopey, but like a longer gliding stride where obviously people who have that type of stride pattern, it's going to be much easier for them to open that up and not have to worry about these running four corners. She ran 4 curves rather, and dropped in 50.82. Yeah, she's going sub 450. She'd probably go 48 point outdoors. Let's be real. Because people just drop times now. I'll say it. I mean, let's not act coy anymore. We've seen so much craziness happen from the high school to the pro levels in track and field, and it's only February. I'm not gonna. And if I'm wrong about that, I'll eat those words. But I have no doubt that she can run 48 point outdoors. Look at her stride. Look how calm she was. Look at how she's, to your point, how strong she was and how confident she was in that last 150. She got challenged, didn't break her stride. In fact, she somehow opened up a little bit more without overstriding. Put her on an open track outdoors, let her cut the amount of curves she has to run in half. If she doesn't run 48 point outside, then I'll be surprised.
Hey, all right, I'll leave it at that.
Yep.
My guys, this weekend,
we'll come back.
I'll bookmark it. I got you. But this weekend, guys, we have the BU Valentine Invitational, and it's going to be nice. I'll be there on the ground, giving you guys all the goods, all the live coverage. But I think one of the most exciting races, we got, hey, man, both of our boys, Marco Langen and Gary Martin, they will be running in the 3K. This is going to be something special. As we know, Langen is 4th all time on the NCAA boards, and Martin is 6th. So as we talk about what they can do, I think especially Marco Langen, I think this is going to be a dogfight, guys. It's going to be nothing less than a dogfight. Johnny, I'd love to hear what you have to say, because I know you spoke to both of these athletes before, one of them kind of being your friend in a sense. So what do you think is going to happen? What's going to pop off this weekend?
This is kind of a house divided. Like, I'm rooting for each of these boys for different reasons. Marco, a friend of the show, obviously a friend of Diodora, versus Gary Martin, who, you know, alma mater, UVA. It's like to me, it's like, I wouldn't call Marco like the bad boy, but he's like, I don't know. He's like heel. He's the heel, and then Gary's a nice guy. I love this matchup. They're both great guys. They're both fierce competitors. They're essentially equally matched. I don't know what they've been up to in the last month or so. I guess we're going to find that out. But you should go back and pull up one of the race replays. But Gary and Marco went like basically neck and neck at the line in that race with Haptem Samuel as well. This is going to be a great benchmark, a month later, where they're at. These are both two guys that are definitely looking to win a national title. So, like, I just love everything about this matchup. And then let me just throw in who else is in here. I saw the name here, and it kind of did something in my heart because Sean McGordy's also in this. And Sean's a name that we literally were in the same conference. I've been watching him since I was in 9th grade. Went on to run with Bowerman, and has just been a perennial mainstay in track for the last like decade plus. So he's in there. Waleed Suleiman from Brooks Beast is in there. Like, this is going to be a great, just entertaining race. And I will also add, for anybody who there's more like this broadcast and FloTrack Night in America. Like, I really think people should know about this because track meets historically the key events are spread out throughout the day. Well, for the first time, we are actually bringing this in like a hot window, all of the top heats in like one viewing window, which I can't wait. It's going to be fun to watch from home, but this is going to be amazing on this Friday night. So I'm stoked about us putting that together.
Yeah, and I think it proved itself successful too when we did that at the BU opener. And I think it's a way to, like, to your point, condense the hottest events within this 90-minute window. Your girl will be on the broadcast. Make sure you watch me. Send me pictures.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really, really fun. And I'm gonna put y'all on the spot again and ask you guys to make your picks. And I'll start. I think Marco's gonna win. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm going to stress you guys out a little bit.
Don't do this.
I wasn't expecting this one.
I have to do it. But I do think Marco's going to win. Like, he just has this, like, not satisfied hunger in his belly, as well as he's running this season. You could tell he is just not satisfied. It's not enough. So I think with that will to win and that fire that he keeps under his butt, that he continues to ignite himself, I think it's his race. Johnny, give me your pick.
Yeah, I told you why this is a tough one for me to pick. I'm rooting for both these boys. I'm going to say though, for the old heads in the game, I'm just going to say wild card. I'm going to say Sean McGordy's had the best build in his life and is going to come out and shock everybody and hold it down for the 30 plus club. So I'm saying Sean McGordy. Closely followed Gary and Marco, side-by-side photo finish for second.
Okay. Olu, I'm not leaving you out of this. What do you have?
You could, though.
I'm not.
I'm just going to... Do I have a coin near me? I'm just going to flip my ring and call it a coin. If it lands on one side, we're going to call it Garrett. We're going to call this for Marco. And I legit had that in my mind when I flipped the ring, that if this side came up, right, I know it looks the same, but if the branding on the inside was upside down, that was going to be Marco. So we're going to say Marco because to your point, everybody's so evenly matched. And if I'm going to bring up a point as to why, if I was going to justify the ring toss here, I remember we also did show an interview where Marco was talking about how everybody's cracked. He ran that in Boston as well. And I think because he has, as you said, Nia, has this hunger this year, and he's been so close, but not there a couple times in the year. I think having what was it last week, 2 weeks ago, where he just raced this pro field and learned what it takes to race at that high level. Now he's coming back to collegiate competition. Well, I mean, obviously it's open competition. I think he has enough fuel in the tank. More so, not necessarily from talent over Gary or the rest of the field, but more so that little bit of an edge, chip on the shoulder that's going to push him over the line first.
Okay. We'll see what happens.
It'll be fast.
And we'll also see. It'll be fast. Yeah, I think that's a promise for sure. We don't even have to debate on that. And And I think what's also going to be fast is going to be the women's 5K. Doris Lemon-Gole will be in it, sorry. And she is fresh off of a 3K win and collegiate record in the 3K at Melrose Games. So I don't really think a win is in the question, but I think the question is, can she challenge Jane Hedegren's collegiate record that she set on that same track just a few weeks prior of 14:44.79? What do you guys think?
For sure.
Did you just say you don't think a win's in the question? Or you mean that you don't think it's a... Wow, you don't think she's going to win?
No, I think she's going to win, but I don't think that's up in the air for a question. Like,
okay.
So I don't think the question is whether or not she's going to win or not. The question is, can she challenge the record?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, wait, hold on. All this track place, we're going to go back to this? Okay, no. I think the record is in threat. I think because when you run, and I'm not a distance guy, but I do know that when you find form, especially in a form in one event can translate to another event. Yes, the 3 to 5K is a little bit further, but if you saw how Doris ran that 5K at Melrose, which we all had the privilege of being able to do, she ran gutsy as she always does, but also there was this vigor that you saw towards the last couple laps where she just looked like she was not going to be denied. And I think she's going to bring that to the 5K. Also, remember, she, to your point, she did just beat Jane in the 3K, and I think she might go in, and she might go into this race knowing that Jane has that record. She also talked about how impactful getting that 3K record was for her. I think she wants to taste that again. So I think that the record is definitely in the threat.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw them head to head last week, and given that kind of benchmark and Doris's kind of history, I think without a question, I'm going to go ahead and call it now. Yeah, she's breaking that record. She's breaking that thing.
How spoiled are we that we're not talking about? How spoiled are we that we're now talking about like who's gonna win? No. We're like, are they gonna break the record again? Are they gonna break the record again? Like these records are just falling back to back to back to back to back. To go back to our point that we made earlier, this is the new era of track and field. This golden era of track and field is being rewritten right in front of our eyes at every level of the sport. Like we're so spoiled that we get to talk about this week in and week out. Who's going to break this record? Is she going to break the record that was just broken earlier this year? Like, come on, man. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I really would like to know. But also, like, I love it. I love being spoiled. So this is great for me. But guys, also, this is also spoiling me. I'm very, very biased. But guys, Justin Knight is entered in the 5K. And I think this is so exciting because he's continuing his comeback from an Achilles injuries. I think you guys have to, like, hear this nugget. He ran his first 5K in like 5 years back in June. So we'll see how he looks this weekend. We all know he represents Canada. He's a Syracuse alum, and he's on the comeback trail. I think this is something that's very hard to do, especially coming back from an Achilles injury. And yeah, I mean, like he's always been someone who's destined for greatness, always been somebody who had a good head on his shoulders, and essentially always been somebody that will always consider himself like a contender. So we'll see how he can do on BU. We all know BU's track is fast. We all know that it comes with the heat. We all know that it comes with competition, but Justin comes with a bunch of curiosity because where is he right now? I think is the big question, and how, because we can't really judge him based on what he's done 4 or 5 years ago.
This is but this is, I think Nia, worth mentioning. You guys were teammates for several years at Syracuse. And I had the misfortune, I suppose, or fortune of going up against him a lot of times and just seeing what a winner he is. And he's always been somebody I've rooted for post collegiately. But he's had a tough road. He's had some highs, but he's had a lot of lows. And like last time I spoke with him, we actually have similar injuries, and it deals with the Achilles. And that the Achilles is a very temperamental thing to deal with, period. And I think we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later as well. But like, just kudos to him. Like, I know to keep that sort of resiliency and to keep pushing. It can be with injuries like these can be years before you get your next shot, and you don't always necessarily get back to ever feeling 100%. But it's just going with those ebbs and flows. And so I can't wait to see like what he's been up to. Hopefully, I'm sure he wouldn't be lining up if he wasn't feeling ready. But at the end of the day, he's a competitor. He knows how to win, and he's always going to like put a fight and give his best effort. So that'll be a good one.
Yeah, well said, Johnny. I think that was really good. I'm Curious to hear your take later on too, in terms of like Achilles and just the injuries that surrounds that. I think how they call it Achilles heel, yeah, for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, until then, guys, let's talk about what's hot. Guys, we had our first sub 4 attempt for the 40K for, our lovely Deodora. Micah Peters from South Dakota made the courageous attempt, but he fell short. He clocked the time of 4:09. But hey, his mom says that he will be trying again. There he is right there on the Mezzofondos. And this is not the last that we'll hear of him. But I think, before I toss to you guys, I have to say how brave it is to be like publicly and just be like, guys, I'm going to do this. A lot of people would probably just buy him in secret. If they do it, they'll publicize it. If they don't do it, they'll keep it to themselves. But he was very much so like his mom DM'd Mospla and FloTrack and said, hey, look what my son's about to do. Here's some pictures. Here's what's going to happen. And then even afterwards, here's the results. So it takes a big level, like a level of like dog and grit to just do that. So kudos.
Nobody said the 40K was going to be easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
sub 4 in high school is insane.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you got to keep chipping away at that. But yeah, way to go. I mean, what a cool thing. And hopefully this is the start. I mean, we'd love to see more. I would encourage more people to let us know. Like we are following this and we want somebody to break it. But yeah, it's not going to be easy. Sub 4 is a tremendous accomplishment for anybody at any stage.
Yeah.
But we're hoping it's somebody in some Deodora spikes. So I'd say anybody else think about it, think a little harder. Let us know. Like I think we'd love to see this go down. I think it goes throughout. Like this extends. It's not only limited to indoor. You can.
I think
run
you're
this
right.
Outdoor as well.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
I know.
Once we
Everyone
get
go
that
buy the
clarified,
Mezzofondos and try to break that record because, yeah. Imagine
we'll give you a shout out
high
when you
school
get up
for
here
40K.
too, man. Yeah.
Bring him on the
Like
show.
40K
Forget
is
the
nuts.
shout out.
Yeah.
For
No,
sure.
we're live. We'll get the 40K, pull up. We'll give you you have a segment on the show. We'll get a nice little box for you to talk your talk. But I mean, even if you don't make it, give an attempt. And we talked about people showing up. We talk about matchups and all these things, but this is track and field. And at the end of the day, we're challenging ourselves against the performance, against the clock, against the measuring tape, whatever the case might be. I love the fact that even though he failed to go under 4 this time around, he was not afraid to send the pictures in. He was not afraid to show that I'm going for it. So I know we got other people who are out there. Maybe it took one person. So shout out to Micah for being the first person to really like put himself in that vulnerable position to show that he's going for it. Maybe we'll see some more people come out the woodwork. But I know if I was in high school, I'd be training for 40 bands right now. It's not a pair of spikes, 40 bands. I think I'll make the investment. It's a good trade-off.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad. Ladies too. Young ladies too. 435.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
We're waiting for you.
Good point.
Yes. 100%. Let's move on, guys. I want to go back to your point, Johnny, you were making in terms of how sensitive Achilles repairs and just injury surrounding that is, because as we know, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, he did decide to get surgery. He was essentially like plagued by injury all season, opened up at Worlds and was like a shell of himself at World Championship. Definitely not the version of Jakob that we know and love. So could you talk a little bit more about what's going on?
Yeah, no, this has been a story I've been very interested in over the last years because Jakob is felt like an unstoppable force in distance running. It seemed like every time he stepped on that track, he was setting a record. He was always going to be winning it. And I think he ushered in what has made kind of this modern era of distance running, 1500 and up, so fascinating to follow. And it has led to some matchups that are, as a fan and a distance fan, like just so compelling and so exciting. So all that being said, when I started getting wind of Achilles injury, I knew that could be a slippery slope, having literally experienced that. Justin Knight has experienced that. Many runners do experience Achilles issues. And because it's basically long story short, he had a surgery and he had to come to America after over like a year and a half of other approaches, because honestly, surgery is like, not going to call it worst case, but it's kind of worst case because it basically requires full stop. Like any momentum and compounding training that you've built over the years, like you basically hit the brakes and lay down for a few months. So basically what happened though is he had scar tissue in the Achilles, and I'm not 100% sure if it's related to Haglund's deformity, but that's a very common thing that happens with runners, is basically kind of a buildup of tissue. They went in and removed that, so the tendon itself was fine, but it was the scar tissue surrounding the tendon. This is going to be probably a wrap for 26. I think if you were thinking of seeing Jakob in 2026, probably start looking towards next year, which is unfortunate. But if you put it in the bigger picture, like with the World Championships in 27 and the Olympics in 28, he's going to be probably fine. But it's going to be a long time out, like probably 6 months. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but like many months of like probably no walking even. And then you start to walk, then you start to agua jog. Maybe by the end of summer or fall, maybe he's doing some easy runs. And then from there, it's where do you build? Anyways, it's a very unfortunate thing for distance running. It's going to obviously open some more opportunities, but I think one of our contributors brought up a good point, that the same thing happened to his older brothers at about the same age. So Jakob's 25. He's obviously been world-class, record-setting since he was a child. And for those who don't know, he has two older brothers with similar trajectories. I think Jakob was certainly the best of the three, but at about this point, 25, they had Achilles injuries and then had a hard time ever like reaching their prime after that. So that's just a data point worth noting and being wary of. Jakob's his own man, but we'll see what happens. There's no easy way about this. The Achilles is a very challenging injury, and everybody who has those knows that. But with somebody with his level of determination and motivation to be the best, like he's gonna. If anybody can do it, it's gonna be him. That's for sure. But, anyways, that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you for that, because 100%. We wish him the best. And I think the breakdown is very important, because I think some people hear Achilles, they just think, oh, okay, ruptured Achilles repair. We'll see you in 12 to X amount of months. But I think, there's some times where it's a lot more complex than that. So appreciate that. Thanks, Johnny. And yes, Jakob, we wish you the best here at the meetup. So, y'all, I said in the beginning that this is the year of the side quest. And I want to know who your dual event go is. I love putting you guys on the spot. I love talking about stuff like you guys. And you guys have to take it, and you guys have to be nice to me because I'm just a girl. So here's my dual event go. Gail Devers. This is my girl for real. As you guys know, she excelled in the 100 and the 100 hurdles. And I think that was always the thing with Gail. Like, her technical precision always stood out. Drove that trail leg through the hurdles, stayed low, and barely gave up any speed in the air. And I think what separated her was how she blended her flat out sprint speed with hurdling. I think, those are two different events. I think, yes, it's the same distance, but you have to run them different ways. In the 100, the 100 hurdles, you have to be extremely controlled. You can't go out too fast, otherwise you're going to completely clobber the first hurdle, and that's it for your race. But then to also be able to run a very different race so well and so clean, I think that's why she is an Olympic and world champion in the events. She Olympic champion in 100 hurdles, world champion in 100 hurdles, world champion in the 100. So that's my girl. That's who my dual event go in track and field. Johnny.
All right, I'm gonna go off the reservation a little bit. Go dual. Actually, I'm going triple sport goat. I'm going Nia Gibson, who's actually currently competing for Team USA in the Olympics, the Winter Olympics in Italy. This girl, it seems like every couple of months there's something. Like, she's a track star out of University of Washington. Last year gets into trail running. This is, I think, a picture Olu took at Golden Trail Series. World-class trail runner, I think, picked that up. And then she literally would run at US track trials. So And then just to add on top of that, because she wasn't doing enough, gets into alpine skiing. Let me double. She gets into basically cross country skiing and makes a Team USA Olympic team. Like, what can't she do? This is incredible. So we're actively
So she's
rooting
currently
for Nia
competing then at the Winter Olympics.
Yes.
She's currently competing.
She's in Italy right
in a different
now.
sport.
In a different sport.
Dang.
You know what's so funny about that, Johnny? I met her in Italy in October, and that's where I took that photo at the Golden Trail World Series finale.
Yeah.
She didn't know at the time that she was going to be back in Italy. We flew into Milan. I don't know where she flew. Actually, we think we will flew into Milan, ironically. And now she's back in Milan competing in the Olympic Games. Completely different sport, highest level of it all. It's nuts. Man, it's crazy. But my side, I will have to go with Sifan Hassan. I mean, I think, again, another triple threat. We're talking about dual threats. Let's make this a triple threat. I mean, Sifan Hassan, she's got an Olympic medal in the 5K. She got it in the 10K. And she says, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go out and run on the roads and collect this marathon as well. But she did this in one Olympics. Or she did multiple of these events in one Olympics, which is just like, how, you know what? I don't even need to say what I was going to say. I was going to say, how crazy are you to do it? But if you go, there's actually a Sifan Hassan interview where she says it herself. How crazy am I to go run 5K, 10K and a marathon in the same Olympics? And then collect medals in it. I think it goes without saying. I don't need to beleaguer the point. You're literally one of the greatest of all time. And I know we throw around the word GOAT so much in this era, but I think this is undisputed.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Revisit this. Well, yeah, guys, before we let you go, this just in, the 2026 USA Championships will be held at Icon Stadium in New York City. So we are going back to the Big Apple. I love this for us. It's going to be really exciting. Icon Stadium is one of my favorite tracks. And to have such an event there where we're going to be crowning a national champion for the United States of America, I'm super duper excited. Y'all give me your little 20-second spiel of why this is it. Why does this work for you?
All right. Well, this works for me because I love New York. I love New York in the summer. And last year, I spent the entire winter in New York. And now I didn't get to go back for New York in the summer to cover track and field, which is, it's the best of many different worlds. So, yeah, I'll be back in NYC again this summer. See y'all there.
So this comes off. Yes, that's for sure. This comes off I was kind of curious because this week I put out a post that the Lone Star Grand Prix was coming to Texas to College Station this summer, which notably lacked the New York Grand Prix, which had been a part of the stops of the USATF Tour. So this makes a lot more sense that they're going to still be competing at Icon. Icon also hosted Athlos, which is an amazing track meet. It's a lot of fun. It's a great venue, lots of space for fans. I love Eugene. I do like going there, despite what some people may feel. But to bring world-class track to the East Coast and to a diehard running city. New York is a big running city, and to give them that opportunity to be a part of that is going to be so much fun. Back to Eugene in 27, so all the Eugene heads don't have to worry, but I'm so excited. I hope this is the start of more USATF championships in the Big Apple.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, I'm excited to fly to a national championships with no layovers. I think that's my favorite thing, going to New York. We're going straight to JFK, baby.
I love Eugene too. I really do love Eugene. It's always a little escape to get out there. It's a beautiful place, but come on, man. I'm going to take that. We talk about this 3.5, 4-hour flight. At least it's going to get us there in one shot, straight to JFK. We'll be up there. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to be back. Even though I'm going to be back next month. So, but back in the summer, it's different.
Love that. New York City summer loading, guys. It's up. I love it. With that being said, that's episode 41, guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you don't love. And we will see you guys next Tuesday.
See ya.